Happy weekend, Knicks Nation. I hope you guys, greetings. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying your weekend. It's now the end of the weekend. It's Sunday. Just came back from a restaurant, my wife and I. And I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend as we enjoyed ours today. Be that you're safe and that you're healthy. I know that the hurricane did come through. But we were very fortunate in our area of Florida. It didn't come through hard over here. It did hit hard, as we know, on the southeast portion of the state. And it did come through Orlando, and it did come, go off the coast. And now it's hit the Carolinas. So I hope everybody's well and everybody's safe out there. Salute to the chat. Cash Out James, Norman Davis, JJ Superstar, Malik Shabazz, my man. Salute. I ain't gonna mess with your woman, man. What's up, Chauncey, Michael Drake, Jeff Abramson, Felicia Lee, my sister, how you doing? And to all of y'all in Knicks, my man Ruel, Shabbat, my man Malik. All right, Ruel, I got to give you the address for Tuesday night. I sent it to Amanda Prakash. I got to give you the address, so we're hooking up. What's up? What's up? Guilford, my man. Yep. I'm going to email you the address, my brother. And yes, Blair V. All right. So the first preseason game, as we are now very much aware in Knicks Nation, the first preseason game is Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, playing Detroit, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Thank you, Keith Watson. Tell me you taking calls tonight. I wish I was. I am not. I've been real busy, man. I promise you, I'm going to get around to it, to looking into how to do the calls and set up the blog talk radio and all that so we could take the calls. I know when Jay Ellis does it, he has help. He has somebody doing the calls for him, letting him know who's waiting and all that. I'm usually a lone person. I'm just solo by myself here, so I don't know. We'll see how this works out as far as taking the calls. We'll figure it out eventually. Keith, sorry about that. Thank you for the super chat. So tonight, though, because the season's about to start, and we're starting with our first preseason game, and I wanted to go over some things I observed and talk with y'all about. This is Tibbs' third season with the Knicks. As Knicks coaches go, over the last 20 years, I think maybe there's been maybe 4, maybe 3 coaches that have lasted into their third season. I know D'Antoni did. I know Mike Woodson was fired in his third season. D'Antoni was let go or quit or whatever after his third season. Not many coaches last more than 2 seasons in New York. Now that's, I used to have a friend. She had her own business, very successful now. But when she started, she got to the point of her business where she was trying to hire an assistant to help her set appointments, to help her keep her schedule. And she was going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different assistants. And she's like, what is going on? There's not good help out there. And I said to her, I said, listen here. I said, 1 or 2, yeah, you could say there's not good help out there, but 3 or 4, you got to start looking in the mirror. Maybe it's not the assistants, maybe it's you, And so I say that to say this, first couple of times you see a coach come and go, okay, maybe they can't handle New York. Hello, John, my man, 2189. But after a whole bunch, and I can't even go over all the ones that have left between, their first and third year, we got to start looking at New York as a problem, right? And so it's a combination of Knicks Nation and the management team, as well as the coach themselves. So it's hard for a coach. It's difficult for a coach to play their game, be their self in New York. So Tibbs is now in his third season. And I know at certain points I did talk about the continuity factor of having a coach that it is here, that we know is here as part of the rebuild, as part of the culture change, as part of, developing the organization of the New York Knicks basketball program. And so now Tibbs is in a critical season. His third season is very critical. As we know, if he starts off slow, he could be let go. If he starts off fast, which I think the Knicks are going to start off better in this season than the first two seasons that he was at the helm. I think and I'll go into that in a minute, but I think they're going to start off better this season than the last two seasons. And we'll talk about why I think that in a second. But, and if, that's the case, he'll be one of the few coaches to get into his fourth season. Then there's a question of how will Jalen Brunson play? How is he going to affect our team? We did a video on this a while back, but now that we're getting ready to get to the nitty gritty, what about Randle's emotional state? That's going to be a big time factor, Randle's emotional state. And then, of course, is RJ ready to take another leap? Because this is RJ's fourth season. RJ has taken a leap every season. His scoring has increased every season, but that's just to me emblematic of his overall leap growth as a player. And he's grown every season as a player. If you've actually watched him, you can see he's gotten a little bigger, a little stronger, a little bit more wise. The game has slowed down for him every season. And so we're looking to see the next leap for RJ Barrett. And then, of course, there is Evan Fournier. And Tom Thibodeau spoke after yesterday's practice about the two guard spot again, and he said some interesting things. I thought people, and so did Ian Begley, thought people were blowing it out of proportion that he talked about Evan Fournier being the front runner, and everybody just started tripping. But it's just how he sees it coming off of last season and going into this season. So, and there's some factors we need to talk about, and I want to discuss Tom Thibodeau's comfort level to start off tonight. And the reason I wanted to go into that is because one of the things we've learned from the former now New York beat writer Mark Berman is that Thibodeau needs to be able to trust a guy to play him. If he doesn't have trust in you as a player, he's not going to play you a lot. And he really doesn't trust rookies. Okay. And even if you're not a rookie, if you get into the game and you don't play well, he may not, play you a lot. That's just how he is. And so I went back and I looked at his first two seasons. Greetings again to the chat web. My man, Adrian Reality, Mr. William, all of y'all. So I went back and I looked at his first two seasons in terms of the lineups, because the lineups that Tibbs plays as far as the number of minutes is an indication of who he's trusting. Does that make sense, y'all? So in other words, if he's playing a certain group a lot of minutes, because he trusts that group. If he's not, then playing him a lot of minutes, he doesn't trust them. And you need that from Thibodeau. If he has trust in you, he's going to play you. Okay, we've seen that. And we know he trusts players that have played with him in Chicago and Minnesota, like Derrick Rose. We know he does that. That's, a given. But I think what we're overlooking coming into this season is the trust factor that he has gained, that players have gained with him in the last two seasons. And that's going to be a factor in how he plays. Now, one thing that he said yesterday, he talked about Grimes, he talked about the bench unit, and he said all of these guys are going to be major factors this year. And that's true. And we're going to talk about all of that. But his first year, the lineup that he played the most in his first year, in his first year as head coach, he played 542 minutes of this lineup. It was RJ Barrett, Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel, Elfrid Payton, and Julius Randle. He played 542 minutes and that was the biggest, as far as lineup, he played that the most that season. And they were -4.5. Okay, they were -4.5. The second lineup that he played a lot that season was 394 minutes. And he played RJ Barrett, Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson, because Mitchell Robinson got hurt. That's why Nerlens Noel ended up playing a lot of minutes. Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle. And that lineup was +1. And they played 394 minutes. So the most played unit was 542 minutes. They were -4.5. And what he did is you replace basically the same unit, but you replace Mitchell Robinson with Nerlens Noel, and it's +1, and they played 394 minutes. And of course, that was changed because Mitchell Robinson hurt himself. He broke his foot, right? Then there was a drop-off, and you're going to see that pattern again last year, but there was a drop-off, and the third unit that played 145 minutes together was R.J. Barrett, Reggie Bullock, Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel, and Julius Randle. Okay, that unit played 145 minutes, and they were +12. Okay, then another one played very similar minutes: Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Emmanuel Quickley, Derrick Rose, and Obi Toppin. They played 139 minutes together. This is Tibbs' first year, and they were +18. That was Mobb Deep. Okay, they were +18. That was Mobb Deep. Now, looking back on it, Thibodeau didn't trust Obi Toppin all that much. We know that because Obi was a rookie. Emmanuel Quickley was a rookie, but he trusted Emmanuel Quickley more, for whatever reason, and he played them together. And of course, he trusted Taj Gibson and Derrick Rose, and they played 139 minutes together, and they were +18. That was Mobb Deep that season. And whereas the minutes we played the most was -4.5. Again, RJ, Bullock, Noel, Peyton, and Randle. That was his first season. Now, his second season, the first two units that played a lot were more even. The first unit that played a lot last year was R.J. Barrett, Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, and who did I have here? Julius Randle, Evan Fournier. I'm missing somebody. R.J. Barrett, Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle. Oh, wait. And of course, R.J. Barrett. Yeah, R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. And they played 434 minutes together. Wait, no, I said R.J. twice. Hold on, let me look back over this here. Make sure I got my game straight here. Mitchell Robinson, that's who I was mentioning. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, R.J. Barrett. Yep. And they played the 434 minutes together. This is last year. And they were +8 when they played together. Okay. They were +8. The second unit behind them was 434 minutes. The next one played 427 minutes, only 7 minutes less. And look at this unit. It was RJ, Fournier, Randle, Kemba Walker, and Mitchell Robinson. Guess what they were? So the first one, RJ, Burks, Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle, that were +8. The RJ, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, Kemba Walker, Mitchell Robinson, -14. -14. We're going to talk more about that in a second. Then there was a drop-off, and there was a group that the next largest group played 89 minutes together. And that was Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, and Derrick Rose. Again, Mobb Deep, +28. +28. Okay? So let's talk about that. So now we don't have to worry about a lineup that includes Kemba Walker this year, right? The lineup doesn't include Kemba Walker this year. That was a -14 lineup. So in other words, you just switched out, in last year, you switched out Kemba Walker for Alec Burks. Same lineup. And it went from -14 to +8. That's why Tibbs stuck with Burks last year. Even though it was clear to most of us Burks wasn't a point guard, but you switch out Burks for Kemba Walker, and you go from -14 to +8, that's a 22-point turnaround. So now, what's the difference now? This year, you're putting Jalen Brunson. You don't have Kemba Walker. You don't have Alec Burks. You're putting Jalen Brunson at the point guard. My prediction is that's going to be a plus lineup, better than +8 lineup. Okay? Better than +8 lineup. And you basically have the same group RJ, Fournier, Randle. Now you're going to have Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson. And like I said, you put our Brunson in there for Burks, a real point guard. And now you have to take into account what we talked about. Mitchell Robinson is not trying to lose 25 pounds, which he spent half the season doing last year, right? We're going to talk about Randle's emotional state and why that's going to play a major role this year, it was terrible last year, okay? It was terrible last year. And then you're talking about Evan Fournier, who's going to be with them for the whole training camp, the second season, even though we're going to talk about him, but I still believe he's going to be replaced in the starting lineup eventually, okay? But it bodes well. Looking at those 2 seasons, it bodes well that when you're having a Jalen Brunson instead of a Kemba Walker, you're going to be able to produce better. You're going to produce better. Instead of, like I said, just by switching Alec Burks and Kemba Walker, you went 22 points better. 22 points better is a big difference. With pretty much the same minutes. One was 434 minutes, one was 427 minutes. Pretty much the same minutes. And you're 22 points better by just switching one player out. Okay, that's big time. So with Jalen Brunson, I'm expecting them to at least be better than +8. At least +8. Okay, because that's what the guys was last year with Albert. And I'm expecting to be at least that. So, and then Mobb Deep now. Mobb Deep, Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Emmanuel Quickly, Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin. So what's going to be here? You're not going to have Taj. What you're going to have? Hartenstein. Right? You're not going to have Taj. You're going to have Hartenstein. What are you going to have here? Instead of AB, you're going to have Grimes. And you're still going to have Quick, Rose, and Obi Toppin. That unit was +28. 2 things. They played 89 minutes together last year. I expect that to be higher this year. I expect them to play more because Tibbs' first 2 units and what the first 2 units represent for Tibbs is, and this is, he's very, if you some of y'all get so emotional about Thibodeau, you can't think straight. You got to back up from it. I know we fans. I know we get emotional. This is our team. We want them to win. I get it. But sometimes you got to back up a second and take your emotions out of it. Thibodeau is very consistent in this way. He will play a lineup, 20 or 30 games, 35 games. And once he makes a change, he stays with the change. So the first year, he played a lineup 542 minutes. And then he played 394 minutes with another lineup. Okay. And the difference was Mitchell Robinson. That was the difference. Okay. So wait. Second year, calm down. We'll get to Cam in a second. Relax. Second year, he plays Kemba Walker's lineup 427 minutes. Then he switches Burks for Walker, and he plays that lineup 434 minutes. See, once he made the switch, he was sticking. And that's it. Now, this year, the starting lineup, the starting lineup is going to be RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, right? It'll start, probably Evan Fournier will start, though I'm not conceding that completely yet. Okay. And of course, Jalen Brunson. That's going to be a positive lineup. That's going to be a positive line. Okay. Okay. Now, Pay Paul 718 said a good point. Hello, Diamond. Said a good point that I want to address. I don't address every comment. I don't believe in answering every comment that comes my way. Not all of them are worth answering. But he said, I'm not sold on Tibbs. At this point, it's irrelevant whether we're sold on him or not. He's the head coach. You can hate him, love him, whatever you want. If you're a Knicks fan, you should be rooting for him. He ain't going nowhere. He's the head coach. Sold on him or not is irrelevant. Right now, he's our head coach. So we got to root for him to do well. Okay? We got to root for him to do well. This is the thing, and I wonder about this, and I'm not talking about you, PayPal, so don't take this personal, but I'm saying, I wonder if people are really Knicks fans or they haters trying to pose as Knicks fans. It's almost like they're hoping their team fails. I even heard some fools talk about tanking. Like, you're still talking about tanking in 3 years of the rebuild? I'm like, what is wrong with some of y'all? You want your team to win or don't you? Scott Morgan, $20 super check. Thank you, Scott. And that's what I struggle with understanding sometimes. If you're a Knicks fan, that would imply that you want your team to win, right? And if you want your team to win, that means you're rooting for them to win. You may not like the head coach, but he's 78 and 76 over the first 2 years. And let me tell you something. It's been a minute since we had a head coach that was 2 years and that was his record. It's been a minute. Jeff Hornacek, Kurt Rambis, Derek Fisher. Y'all remember some of them? Come on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want Obi Toppin to start. Yeah, I'd rather them trade Randle, but he's here. This is what it is. I want Randle to do well because I want the Knicks to win. Okay? I want the Knicks to win. So Tibbs is the coach. Buy in, because if you're a Knicks fan, you should be buying in because you want him to succeed. What you want from him, you want another coach of the year job from Tom Thibodeau if you're really a Knicks fan. Okay? If you're not, then you're not. If you're a Laker fan or Bulls fan or a Nets fan, God forbid, if you wanted them, okay, got you. Cool. You can hope he fail all day. But just say that's what you are then. You're not a Knicks fan. I could deal with that. But some people claiming to be Knicks fans and just hating, man. Come on. Yeah, they're trolls. Yeah, you're right, 2189. Thanks for the $2. You're right. Okay. So with that in mind, that's why I went back and I'm looking at Tibbs's New York Knicks record. And I'm looking at what he did with his lineup. And I'm trying to, inculcate that into this year. Okay. So let's talk about this year. First off, based on Tibbs's own comments. Okay. Again, and this is another thing. People don't listen to what the man said. They don't listen to what Leon Rose said. Instead, they listening to Stephen Bondi and ESPN and everybody else but the people that's talking. Or NBA Central, God forbid. Everybody else but the people that's talking. That's what people are listening to. Right? Leon said, we want to develop what we have. We want to develop our young core. That was pretty clear. We want to remain opportunistic. The cupboard is still open for deals. We got 21 draft picks. That sounds like he's being flexible, opportunistic, and looking to develop what he has. What did Tibbs say? He said, what did Tibbs say? Hold on, let me just get rid of this perv. Yeah, thank you. What did Tibbs say? He said all of these guys are going to play important roles. Why did he say that? Did you hear him say that? Now, that's not saying, for example, Deuce McBride is going to get 20 minutes a game. No. But what it does mean is when Rose or Brunson can't play, he's going to get minutes. See, I looked at Deuce McBride's minutes last year as a rookie. He appeared in 40 games last year, 40. And he averaged 9 minutes a game in the 40 games that he appeared. Okay? I'm expecting him to probably average 9 minutes a game this year. But the difference is appearing in like 72 games. That's the difference, right? So I'm expecting Deuce McBride, as an example, he's going to probably play the same 9 minutes a game this year that he played last year. But this year, he's playing them for more games because there's a lot of DNPs last year for Deuce. Okay, so I'm expecting to play more minutes. I mean, more games with the same minutes, which for him would expand his role, which would make sense in the way Thibodeau develops his young point guards. 2189, Stephen A. Stupid signed our roster, Shaq, New York head coach here. No, man. But anyway, what I'm saying here is guys like Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, Deuce McBride have won Thibodeau over. He don't have to worry about trusting these guys. They have won him over. Okay. And that's a major thing with Thibodeau. So now they will be involved more when somebody gets hurt, or, you know, if they're not playing well and you need somebody to come in, you'll see these guys get more run. Okay. All right. We know that Jalen Brunson is going to play at least 30 minutes a game. I think we're understanding that. He's going to play at least 30 minutes a game. Okay, he may play more than that, but he's going to play at least 30 minutes a game. So that at the point guard spot with 48 minutes, most of those other minutes are going to go to Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is going to come in. Now, somebody asked the question, where is Cam in all of this? And this is a question. I believe Cam's spot in the rotation will depend entirely on his camp and preseason. That's bottom line. Cam has got to ball out. He has got to ball out. He won't be the odd man out if he balls out. If Cam balls out, he's going to play. Somebody else will sit. And I believe Tibbs is going to give him the chance. Him and Grimes are going to get the chance to prove to Tom Thibodeau that they're better than Evan Fournier. They're going to get the chance. And look, that's all we could really ask for. Correct? That's fair. That's all we could really ask for. Is he going to allow Cam Reddish and Quentin Grimes to get an opportunity to show that they're better at the position of the 2 guard or the 3 in Cam's case than the guys that they got there? Okay, so if that's the case, they'll get their chance to play. Somebody said, who are they going to play over? That depends on who's not playing as well as them. To me, the real guy with the real risk is Evan Fournier. He's the guy he's at risk. He's at risk because as a 10-year veteran, Evan Fournier is a 10-year veteran. His defense is what it is. He's not all of a sudden to become Deuce McBride on defense. He's not going to do it. His defense is what it is. The question is, does it fit within the team defensive scheme well enough that he can keep his job? That's the question. That's the real question. And we don't know until the games are played, but will Evan Fournier's team defense fit within the scheme of the Knicks defensive schemes for him to not lose his job? And let me tell you this, and y'all, most of y'all would know this being NBA basketball fans. If Evan Fournier is a weakness, other teams are going to exploit it. They're not going to waste time. They're going to exploit it. In other words, if he can't guard somebody in man-to-man defense, if he can't guard somebody on the perimeter, they're going to swing the ball until they have Evan Fournier one-on-one with somebody. And they're going to exploit him. And if he can hold his own, he stay on the court. If he can't, somebody's coming. Okay? So we will find out very shortly. Okay? We will find out very shortly. So we don't have to guess. This is what I'm saying. We could all make predictions, right? That's cool. If you betting on it or whatever, which I'm not. But I'm saying you could make predictions. But what I'm saying is, why make predictions? In about 2 or 3 days, we're going to see. Okay? In about 2 or 3 days, we're going to see. But one thing that I'm very confident in, if he sucks on the court, either Grimes or Cam is going to take his spot. And he's going to, if he does suck defensively that bad, he's going to be in a position that Kemba Walker was in last year. You remember Kemba Walker's position was either he starts or he's out of the rotation. That's going to be Evan Fournier's position. Either he starts or he's out of the rotation, because if he doesn't start, Grimes and Cam are going to eat up those minutes. Because those two boys are hungry. Okay? So we're going to see. That's what, and I'm saying that's what it comes down to. We're all going to see in just a few days. We're going to see. Tyler Hero, 4 years, 130. Well, what does that mean? That means something. Thank you for the 49 Super Chat, Mr. Kroll. That means something. That means Tyler Hero just set the market for Emmanuel Quickley. But the difference between Tyler Hero and Emmanuel Quickley is Tyler Hero has balled out in the finals and in the playoffs. What does that mean for Emmanuel Quickley? I expect the Knicks to be a playoff team this year. Now, I'm not even talking about playing. I know a lot of people talking that playing BS. I'm not buying it. I'm saying Knicks are top 8. And if you don't mess around, top 6. And if the Knicks are top 6, Quick is going to get an opportunity to ball in the playoffs. And I believe the young man will ball in the playoffs. And if he does, the Knicks got a decision to make, because there's going to be a team out there that's going to offer Mr. Quickley a starting role and starting money. He'll be restricted, but there'll be a team out there that will offer him a starting role and starting money. 21, that's for the $5. The exploitation will expedite Tibbs firing because the rationale is our best option. Nobody won't tolerate. He got a full cupboard, not an empty one. Yes, he does. Got a full cupboard. I happen to have a little bit more confidence in him, though. I think they're going to do a lot better than people think. Hey, Kareem. I think they're going to start off a lot better. I think this third season, he'll start off better than he did the first 2 seasons. That's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting that Tom Thibodeau's team will start off better this season than it did the first 2 seasons. I think he will. I'm really looking for a solid start here. And if they get off to a solid start, because for the Knicks, the hardest part of the Knicks schedule is from opening night to the end of December. That's the hardest part of their schedule. And so if they can get off to a good start from opening night, October 19th to December 31st, they're going to be really good. Yeah, and it was 5-1 last year. And that's another thing to remember. But it slacked off because Kemba's knees started giving out, right? Kemba's knees started giving out. And that's what I'm saying. I was noticing, and a lot of us were noticing, that he was playing on one leg after about 6 games. And because of that, I knew that he could not continue to sustain himself playing at that level. And eventually he was taken out of the rotation. He started off good because his knee held up for like 4, 5, 6, 7 games. But then it started dying on him. You know, the man, this was happening, brethren. Sometimes the athlete's the last one to know. In all the sports, the athlete's the last one to know that he's done. Okay? So I'm saying this year I'm expecting them to be off to a better start. And I'm saying that will be made manifest by December 31st. And I'm saying that if they do get off to a good start and they're playing winning basketball on December 31st, they're going to be really good down the stretch. They're going to be really good down the stretch. Let me just go back. Superstar, what's my top 6 in the East? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I want to make sure you'll hear me when I say it. Are you ready? I want to make sure you'll hear me when I say it. This is the problem people have with me in basketball commentating. Are you ready? I don't give a crap. I don't care. I just know the Knicks going to be in there. If somebody got to take a back seat, they're going to take one. Somebody going to take an L, they just going to take one. I don't care who else is there. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm Knicks all the way. You see what I'm saying? So Who takes the back seat, who got to take the L, that's their business. I don't care. I know the seat gonna be warm in one of them top 6 spots for NYC, baby. That's all I'm saying. That seat gonna be warm in one of the top 6 spots for NYC. Who else is there? Who else is in that top 6 party? That's their business. Let them figure that out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So and my man Superstar, my homie, straight brother, Hebrew brother, homie. And so he know I'm not trying to break on him. But honestly, whoever else out there, whatever. Somebody got to drop. Somebody got to drop. Yeah. Well, if Cam starts, I believe that. Pudge nice. Cam starts, the Knicks are definitely top 6. But even if he doesn't, if he gets significant minutes in the rotation, I'm still down with that. You understand? If he gets significant minutes in the rotation, I'm still down with that. Because to me, if Cam gets significant minutes, to me, it's going to be at the 3, which means RJ at the 2, they're gone. You know what I mean? That's some dangerous stuff, no matter how many, So to answer my man's question, and like I said, I can understand people's frustration with this. Who top 6 is, I could give less than 2, bird doodles, but just keep the Knicks seat warm. That's all I'm saying. Keep the Knicks seat warm. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now, Brunson's going to get the bulk of the minutes at the point guard. And his backup at the point guard is Derrick Rose. And for 18 minutes or less of Derrick Rose at 195 pounds, I'm expecting some serious production from D Rose at 195 pounds. Okay. Randle, this is I'll be honest. When they first said they were signing Julius Randle, I was not happy at all. I was vocally against the signing of Julius Randle coming from New Orleans to New York. I did not like him. I knew him as a turnover machine. Even in New Orleans, I thought he was empty stats then, and I still did. He surprised me his second year with the Knicks, Tibbs' first year with the way they played. Last year, to me, was more like the Randle I come to know, right? But I want to say I think Randle's going to have his best season this year. And see, what I feel is the best season for Randle is not what most people will feel, and I'll tell you why. The year that the Knicks went to the 4th seed, they played a preseason game against the Cleveland Cavaliers that year. Julius Randle in that preseason game had about 9 points. He had about 8 boards, something like that, 10 boards. He had like 2 turnovers. And I said at the time, that's the best basketball I've seen him play. He had like 9 points, he had like 10, 11 boards, and maybe he had only 2 turnovers, and he played pretty good minutes. And I said, that's the best basketball I've seen him play. You know why? Because he was hustling on defense. He was putting his effort in on both ends of the basketball floor. He was seeing the floor, and he was letting go of that ball before he could turn it over. And I thought to myself, daggone, if he keeps playing like this, we're going to be in pretty good shape. And we were. I'm thinking we're headed to that again. And the reasons that I'm feeling we're headed to that again, yes, Mobb Deep's going to be a definite nightmare, 21-89. We're going to talk about that. But the reason I'm feeling confident about Randle, and that's a shaky out proposition, I will admit, to feel confident about the emotional state of one Julius Randle. But the reason I'm feeling more confident about it is because of the presence of Jalen Brunson, because of the presence of a healthy Derrick Rose, because of the presence of a grown man now, RJ Barrett. Because of the presence of these people, I feel like Randle will have to surrender the leadership role. And in surrendering the leadership role, he's not going to be forcing things. And in fact, the 4th sub reason is Tom Thibodeau, because Tom Thibodeau said that he shouldn't have to handle the ball as much this year, that he shouldn't have to, that Tom said, I expect him to move more without the ball. And I'm telling y'all could bear witness. I've been saying that all summer, that if we can get Julius Randle to move without the basketball on a weak side and to cut instead of standing outside, we can be in good shape. Okay, we can be in good shape. So that's why I'm confident in Julius Randle. And I'm not talking statistics right now. I'm talking about his emotional state, where his head is, where he is with the team on the floor. And I'm thinking this, brethren. A sign that what I'm saying comes to pass, if it comes to pass, this would be the sign. If you see Julius Randle spending less time in the referee's face, it's going to be a good sign. It's going to be a good season. If you see him spending too much time, as he usually does, in the face of a referee, we're going to have a problem. Okay, we're going to have a problem. It's going to be, somebody need to talk to him. Okay, somebody need to sit him down and talk to him. And I'm sure Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Derrick Rose, they're going to be up in his behind. I'm telling you, I can guarantee you that. None of them are going to put up with the BS this year. Okay, none of them are going to put up with the BS this year. I'm not sure if Tibbs going to be in it, but I'm telling you, those are the players that are going to hold him accountable, that Rick Brunson going to hold him accountable. So I'm very confident in Julius this year. I'm very confident that he focuses on the game and his role. And that's important, that he'll know his role. It's not the number one option. He doesn't have to dribble the basketball a lot. He can just get the ball moving off the ball and create opportunities for himself, as well as continue to be what he's always been, a tremendous rebounder, especially on the defensive rebounding end. He's a tremendous rebounder. There's no doubt about that. Okay. As Mitchell Robinson is top 3 in the league, offensive rebounding, Julius Randle is I'd say top 5 in the league, defensive rebounding. He is a tremendous defensive rebounder. And why is that important? A great defensive rebounder. You know who was a great defensive rebounder for the New York Knicks back in this time? Marcus Camby. What was good about Marcus as far as a defensive rebounding ability is he limited the other team to one shot. That's big time. See? So if Julius can focus on that, limiting the opponent to one shot. See, the more you limit them to one shot, the more opportunity you have to make runs where you're getting 3 and 4 stops in a row. And you know what happens when the Knicks get 3 or 4 stops in a row. Off to the races. Okay. And that hardly happened last year as much as it did the year before. Okay. So I'm looking for that from Jay Randle. I would love for him to average 14 rebounds a game. I don't care how many points he scores. Honestly, I don't, because that's going to take care of itself. If he could get us 14 boards a game and limit the turnovers to, let's say, 2 a game, we'll be really good. We'll be really good. Okay, really good. Now, Mobb Deep. I think we can bear witness. Did Raw Hebrew come up with the Mobb Deep? Everybody's trying to copy what we came up with. Why did I call him Mobb Deep? Aside from the rap song from Prodigy and them, aside from that, why I call him Mobb Deep is because I felt like the Knicks were deep on the bench. And they came off like a mob deep, right? Plus, I kept hearing that song in my head, survival of the fittest, right? But because Thibodeau didn't trust Mobb Deep the way I thought he would, they didn't get the chance to win more games for us as they would have. And I think we can agree. On many occasions, the first unit would give up leads or not have a lead, and Mobb Deep would come in and bring the Knicks back, only to be sat down in the fourth quarter as Tom Thibodeau returned to the losing first unit, which last year, the first unit was -14. Okay? But this year, we already talked about having Jalen Brunson in at the point guard spot instead of Alec Burks. We talked about the growth of RJ Barrett and the hopeful growth of Julius Randle in his mental condition, mental and emotional state, with what I'm expecting Mitchell Robinson to bring, which is top flight pressure on the rim as far as offensive rebounding. So The first group is going to be pretty good. Matter of fact, I'm expecting the first group to exit the first quarter, probably with 8 minutes left, 7 minutes, after 7 to 8 minutes in the first quarter with a lead. And now you're bringing in Grimes, Obi, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, Cam Reddish, Hartenstein. That's 6, right? 5 of them going to play at a time. That's with a lead. That's them coming into the game with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the quarter with a lead. And the Knicks ain't going to the playoffs? Wait, you sure? You sure about that? Think about that. Are you sure? The Knicks you talking about playing? Seriously? With that crew? Mobb Deep is a product of drafting and signing talented, young, hungry players. Also, a new utility role with some veterans. That's exactly right, 21. Thanks for the $5. Exactly. What is Mobb Deep? Mobb Deep is Obi Toppin, drafted number 8 overall 2 seasons ago. Right? Emmanuel Quickly, drafted in the 20s. I think it was 25th 2 seasons ago. Right? Quentin Grimes, drafted 25th last year. Right? Derrick Rose, a long time, former MVP, playing now, being healthy for the first time, he said, in his career coming into the season. Isaiah Hartenstein, 24 years old, coming off the bench, 15 minutes a game, shooting threes, passing the rock, getting a rebound, and running the floor. This squad, Mobb Deep was plus 28 last year, plus 12 the year before, plus 18 with Obi in the lineup the year before. Yo, let me tell you. And I'm saying, you're talking about a first unit that on most nights can hand them a lead. Y'all remember what it was last year? A lot of times the first unit will come out gangbusters, man. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden just run out of gas, man. Mobb Deep had to carry us. We're going to be in good shape this year. Very good shape. Okay. Mobb Deep, to me, and I'm going to be conservative, I think they're the top 5 bench unit in the league this year. Mobb Deep. I think they're the top 5 best unit in the league. Out of 30 teams, I think they're top 5, and I'm being conservative. They could be higher than that. They're the top 5 bench unit in the NBA this year. Mobb Deep. And because of that, when you have a better starting unit, oh my gosh, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Let everybody, sleep on the Knicks, talking about playing and 40 wins. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You remember what my man said? You remember what my man Al Pacino said? Say hello to my little friend. Who is that? Jalen Brunson. Okay. Say hello to my little friend. That's what I'm talking about. That was Al Pacino in what was that movie, man? Where he was the big time kingpin. He said, "Say hello to my little friend." Pulled out that cannon on him. Jalen Brunson and Mobb Deep. Here we go. Scarface. That's right. Scarface. That's right. Scarface. Jalen Brunson. Tony Montana. That's right. Jalen Brunson and Mobb Deep. Telling you. So, okay. Who going to come out the top 6? I don't care. That's their problem. Here come the Knicks. Here come the Knicks, baby. Here come the Knicks, baby. That's all I'm saying. So, to me, the combination, I guess what it boils down to, Knicks Nation, the combination of Tibbs learning to trust guys like Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, right? And then perhaps Cam Reddish, right? So with Tibbs trusting, exactly, otherwise. Exactly. With Tibbs trusting these young men with more minutes, what we all expected last year when he didn't play a lot of these guys, the minutes we were looking for, we're going to get it this year. Okay. And then when you got Russell Reed, what's up? And when we got, now you still have, like I said, Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett. RJ now, look, he's taking leaps each year. RJ, you know, it's interesting. His whole career has a rhythm to it if you really watch him, right? Every year he starts off slow. And he builds up, and all of a sudden, come like All-Star break, he starts playing his best basketball, right? Every year he does that. And every year, you know, his first year was 14 points a game. His second year, 17 points a game. His third year, 20 points a game. And it's emblematic of his growth as a player. Yes, is he inefficient? Yes, he's inefficient. I'm not buying him this whole I'm down on him on defense. He took on the best offensive players last year. And I don't know why y'all expected him to all of a sudden be all NBA defense, taking on all the best players of every team, all the best wings of every team. He took them on. Okay. Sometimes he did well, sometimes he didn't, but that's how you do it in the NBA. That's called growth.